please introduce yourselves?
I'm Addie Thomas, and I'm the mother of the bride.
I'm Hatise Thomas Laws. I am the bride.
And I guess that would make me the groom. My name is Theo Laws.
And Catherine, I am the Signature Manor Planner and Account Manager here. Now, we want to tell you a little bit about the story about us. It's very unique and very different. Out of 13 years of doing planning, this is the first time this ever happened. So we as a group want to tell you a little bit about our story and how we got together. So we're going to start with Mom.
She called and she asked me, could I help her do the linen? So she says, Mom, can you find places to do the linen? I got to get linens for this place. I said, no problem. So I go on the internet and I find linens. Of course, Signature Manor comes up and I make an appointment to come over here so we could look at linens. And I told Hatise, when the appointment was scheduled and they could be here so we can all come together and look at linens. And so that's how we came here to Signature Manor and we met Catherine.
We were just absolutely blown away. Little did we know the linen rental was this. It was everything. When we came here and saw how organized and how professional and just beautiful this place was, and the people that work here, it was just it just made sense.
Well, in a way, like we were vulnerable in the beginning when we came here, because the situation we had beforehand, it was just like, it was a terrible situation. We won't say who they were, but we would never ever go back, and we're so glad that we happened to come here, because like our mom was like, well, we're just gonna take a look at linens.
Yeah.
And like we actually had the appointment with them that same day. And we were kind of like, in the back of our minds, we're like, okay, we have to meet up with these people to finish off what we're supposed to do. But we came here and like, she just got goo goo gaga.
That's true. But I still didn't realize that they did weddings here because we came in looking for linen. So I really didn't know what they did here. So that's when and Catherine was showing us, all these, table layouts and linens. And I'm like, you do weddings here too? She says, yes.
They brought out the
very
guns.
enthusiastically. She says, and then she says, you want to see what we do? And I'm like, okay, we got a place, but yes, I was sold when she turned on that video. And she
that video sealed the deal.
I was
The
sold
videos.
then. But the thing of it is, we still had this deposit at this other place.
Yes.
Huge risk.
And we had this appointment. So we said, okay, let's see. And so Catherine, she wasn't pushy. She just said, but she's a good salesperson because she said, just take your time. If this is what you want to do, I can work with you. A very personable, very warm. She just was like, I'm like, yes, that's what we need to be.
She helps lead you in the right direction.
And the thing of it is, I didn't want to be out at that other place anyway.
It was far.
I told them,
had so many issues.
I didn't want to be out there. But when we left here knowing that we wanted to be here.
Yes.
And Theo said, okay, let's pray.
Let's pray.
Yes. We prayed in the car.
Also, what I liked about here is with Catherine, she's surrounded by this staff that everybody plays a part, Everybody had the same personality, They were there with helpful information, all this stuff, And it was like, and it wasn't pushy. The place, actually with the personalities that they have, it's sold itself.
You're always a priority here, regardless of whether or not you're just here to come visit, like we're doing now, or you're just stopping by to conduct business, do a meeting. I mean, you were always felt like you're a priority here, and that was the biggest thing. I think the service is beyond anything you can expect, because I think the biggest worry, and I expressed this before, you want to leave feeling like the other party is invested as much as you are. If it doesn't go perfect, you feel that they're going to freak out just as much as you would. And I felt at the other place, it was like, oh, so sad, there's a tissue, go somewhere and handle that. And I mean, here it was like, don't worry. I mean, even the day of, like, I had makeup on my wedding dress, and before I even
broke out that Tide pen.
before I even had a chance to stress about it, like Catherine was like, it's done. What do you want else? Do you want some more champagne? Get her some champagne. And I'm like, what's going on? Oh, clean dress. And so, I mean, it was awesome.
You want it to be a joyous occasion rather than freaking out and worried about it's just done. I'm hoping this is done. We don't have to worry about that. So that made the whole situation, whole event, a lot easier to handle and actually enjoy ourselves.
On the day of the event, the whole staff was here, you know?
Yes.
Everybody was here, making sure everything was running smoothly, you know? Making sure the guests were attended to, you know? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know they were gonna go that far, you know? I didn't know that was all, you know, that all this was gonna be there. And to see that, you know, I'm like, it made the wedding coordinator's job a whole lot smoother, you know? Yeah. And to know that the staff is there taking care of the guests, just like their family.
Right.
You know, it was a very smooth, you know, everything just went perfect that day. I felt very confident, you know, because I had confidence, you know, how can you not have confidence in someone who responds to emails, you know, immediately, you know, someone who says, let me know what you want, you know, and I'll make it happen. And that's what happened that day, you know, from the time we met up until the time of the event, and even after the event, you know, Signature Manor, Catherine and her staff have been there, you know, and responding to everything.
Like a lot of times when you're doing a wedding, there's a lot of things that you don't put on your list. A lot of things, okay, we need, you know, gotta have a cake, gotta have a preacher, gotta have someone to have it. All these different little things that need to be added, they've already thought of it. And you can put it in the package, or you can go, they give you options, so you're not like in some little box, you know, so they have options. How would you like this? How would you like that? We like the fact that they gave us an opportunity to fulfill what we wanted. Yeah. They didn't try to, they're like, okay, if you're hungry, all right, this is all we serving. Yeah. Here's the menu. You pick which one you like. You tell us how you would like it cooked. You know, we'll do it to that. So whatever your satisfaction is, we'll do that. And like a lot of times in this type of business, you know, people just have to accept it. Well, this is all I have, and we just have to take it. They didn't make it seem that way. So made us feel a lot at ease.
Now, looking back on the day that you were married, what was that moment, that special moment that you guys had out of all those hours, that 5-second moment?
For me, one was my vows. Another one was watching her come down the aisle. Another was just taking pictures, you know, with my family, like we're actually one now.
Yeah, I had two special moments where I realized this was happening. I was getting married. The first moment was when I opened up the door. When I opened up at his church, they led me around outside to come in through a side entrance. And when I opened up the door, my brother was right there in the door, and he's like, "You ready? You ready?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And he moves over to the side, and I see my dad. He's wiping away a tear, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, my dad's giving me away. Oh, this is really happening." The second moment, it was we were on stage. At his church, there's these two large screens where you can see everything. And so somewhere during the wedding, I looked up on the screen. I was like, "That's Theo. That's me. We're getting married." And I was like, it took me seeing myself getting married, just saying, "Oh my gosh, my life is about to change." Overall, that whole day was just magical.
But for me, when her teeth and Theo came to that door, and the confetti went up, and came through, that was beautiful.
Yes,
that was beautiful. You know, I've been to a lot of weddings, and I've seen a lot of receptions and sit-ups, but when I saw my daughter and my son-in-law come to that door, that was wonderful. You know, and everyone talked about the confetti because they've never seen that before
Yes.
either. You know, it's like here they are.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I have to admit, looking back at the video and I saw that, I still jumped. I was like,
You see the table in front of the cannons, like really That was a lot of fun.
oh yes.
Yeah, and the food was good.
Oh, the food was amazing.
Yes,
It was
very
exactly, that's one thing about sometimes you go to weddings. Like, everybody talks about the food and then it doesn't live up to those expectations. But the food was just as delicious as the first time. I mean, it was spot on.
Everything was just perfect that night. You know, we couldn't have asked for anything better, and we're grateful for that. We thank you for that.
So whenever there's somebody talking about a wedding, I tell them signature manner. Signature manner. Signature manner. Don't copy my same scheme, but signature manner. You want to have something a little unique. I mean, but the great thing about it is, over here, they will, as crazy as your ideas may seem, they'll let you run with it.
So this is first class, all the way first class. It was what I always envisioned for my daughter.
Now, hindsight's 2020. So what advice would you give future bride and grooms or future moms and parents going, you know, I'm going through the same experience? What advice would you give them?
You have to be cognizant of what you want and what you can afford. And also, I mean, you want to go with someone who's reputable, who's been you don't have to be doing it 15, 20 years to be successful, you know, at it, but someone who has gained a reputation for doing something and doing it well.
The biggest piece of advice I can give is trust your instincts, trust your gut. I think there were a couple of times in the beginning of our wedding planning process where we didn't trust our gut. We were just going with what we thought would work out. And there's no such thing as too much planning, too much preparation. Because I feel like if you're prepared and you're trusting and you know what feels right, you won't be deceived into something else.
I just want to thank you guys. It's been a blessing. It's been wonderful having you guys, and it's been very memorable. Of all these years, I love planning weddings, but this one, the cakes, I loved it. I felt that you guys were like family, and that's why we always took an urgency to your task and things that you needed, because it's just as important to us to make sure it's memorable, because wedding is once in a lifetime.
Right.
And we want to make sure it's as special to you guys as it is for us every time. So thank you again, and as always, Signature Manor is always open to you guys to come in, visit us as always, even after the weddings, and maybe future baby showers. Wait a little bit. Wait a little bit.
You and my mama.
Wait a little bit on that one, but future anniversaries and everything of that sort, because it's such a memorable experience that we can actually be a part of as well.
Right.
And you guys made it special.